Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me get in here. Are you ready to talk about teachers? Hi, Gamma. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Mary too. Oh, good morning, everybody. Aw. Good morning. Good morning. I was just looking, Mary 2 says, I was just looking over the morning news. It looks like it's going to be a fun art Saturday. Very cool. Any day, creating art is a good one. Yes, it is. Mary 2 said, I just put on the coffee. I'm taking my darling Ripley out, and I'll check back in later. Okay. Sylvia says, I'm so impatient to see what the other participants are going to create. Good morning. Well, the theme, first of all, let me tell you, this is September's Fourth Art Saturday. Yeah, Mary missed it. Mary didn't get the links done in time for September, so we did it in October, the first Saturday in October. And the theme is teachers. Teachers, teachers, teachers. And let me tell you, there are several people, I think, including Sylvia, who is a teacher or has taught before and probably still teaching in her own way, huh? Hi, Popo. Good morning, Popo. So I have here in my hands several pictures here. This one is interesting because this one is a picture of school when they still had it in the home. Look, see, there's that big old arch like I have here in my studio. There's a big old arch here. Of course, it goes out into a living room. I'm sure this home is older than our house, but it got the teacher up on a little stage area here. It looks like she's disciplining a child there. Very interesting. This one is where the teacher's showing them how to brush their teeth. This is the way you brush your teeth. Some fussy cuts that I had from way back when. After school, let me at first kind of go through who's going to be. I cannot give you the links in my description box because they won't go public until 5:30. I'm just kind of introducing the theme of teachers, but I can tell you who's going to stream. Tim at Designs by CADPRO, Mrs. Gigi, Tanya McGuire, Janet Nash, Artfully Blind with Diana, Sylvia, Bootsie Sweettarts, and myself. So what, is that 8 of us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that's a good sized video hop. That'll keep us hopping for the videos range all the way. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're longer. So I tell them if you make your video from 10 to 30 minutes, that's fine. Keep it in that range. I will be getting off here. My goal is to get off of here by 5:15, and that will give me time to get resettled and set up, and I will put the other videos in the playlist as soon as I can, and I will drop a link to the playlist. I will put it in the description box below, the playlist. Do I have it in here now? Sometimes I put it in. Let me check and see if I have just the playlist in here. No. Sometimes I put it in, but you wouldn't be able to see the videos anyway. I have some crayons out here. I'm going to do just something really simple in my journal. I might just do some sketching, quick sketches. I generally like reading about teachers. Teachers are so important. During your formative years, and I'm not talking about during primary, but all the way from primary clear on up through high school, teachers have a big influence in our life. And that applies not just to teachers here in the United States, but teachers across the whole world. That's primarily who we learn from, whether it's our parents or, a regular school teacher, people who teach, they're communicating to you to help you learn lessons that are going to carry you through life for good or bad. And we won't talk about bad teachers. We're only going to talk about good teachers. What makes a good teacher? I think we all know. We know what a good teacher is. A good teacher cares about their students, whether they're actually learning, getting the point, learning the whatever subject that they're being taught. But more than that, I think it's a one-on-one relationship that a teacher has with the student. They're able to communicate, not be a pal, but be a leader, be a guide, be there when the student has a question or a problem. Maybe they don't understand something that's being taught. It could be math. Math was well, I got along pretty good in math until I got in high school. And then we got to I did okay in algebra, and I loved geometry. But when I got to the higher math, calculus and thereon trig, I never really took calculus and trig. That's something that I want to talk about too. At what point do you stop studying something? At what point do you stop believing that you can understand something? It wasn't until later in life. I mean, I must have been in my 30s or 40s before I was I was really preparing for a job test. And I was preparing, reading my accounting, doing some math, doing those reviews, and I came across how to work a square root. And I worked that square root, and it wasn't just a simple one, and I'm sitting there going, I can do this. I never knew that I could work square roots. Now, I'd have to study how to do it again. But at what point do you either convince yourself or are convinced by somebody else that you can't do something? When do you stop believing that you can do something? Well, a good teacher will guide the students to believe that they can do whatever they put their mind to. At what point do you believe that you can't draw something anymore, that you can't paint? Hopefully I never got to that point. At what point do you say I'm not good enough? So this is an article about teachers after school. A teacher's a student too. She studies so that she can learn new ways to help you. And this is out of the Childcraft magazine. A lot of these pictures here are out of Childcraft. Just things that I tore out long ago. She corrects your papers. She keeps a record of your work and your daily attendance in class. She's a planner. She plans lessons for you every week. And I've already showed these pictures of when students were still taught this was a colonial day, but it shows students being taught in a home setting. And here's one, this is probably in the 30s, maybe the 20s. The teacher was showing the kids how to brush their teeth. I think this is so cute. Such a unique photo. And this is an illustration. Here's a teacher. Looks like she is teaching. I don't know what she has. Oh, she's got a stick, but I have no idea what this is up here. Maybe they are. It looks like maybe they're breaking that. Maybe that's a piñata. it looks like it might be because there's food over on the table, but look how the kids are circled around and looking up to her. She's the leader in that classroom. She's the guide. She's the one that you know, because these kids, if left to themselves, well, we don't even want to talk about that. And here's a young girl who's doing math problems up on the blackboard. I can remember going up on the blackboard and doing division. This is just a little girl who's writing. Here's a more recent photo of a teacher, a young lady. Look, she's got a mini skirt on. She's got long hair. I would probably say this is 1970s. But it's a young lady teaching this little boy. He's wise. He reads to you. So they're probably doing a reading. No, it looks like she's got a skeleton of a prehistoric animal in her hand here. Here's where kids are playing out on the playground, but it says a teacher watches while you play on a climber. They called these monkey bars climbers during recess. So the teacher also has a duty of watching over the kids. To help you learn, a teacher does the work of many different people. She's a listener when you read from a book. She helps you pronounce difficult words. She's a storyteller when she reads you stories about kings and palaces and pilots and airplanes and cowboys and Indians. She's a moderator when you have show and tell. She helps everyone get the most out of what he does. A teacher may sometimes be a musician. Sometimes she plays the piano and teaches you a song. She has to have rules to keep order in the classroom. And then this is not related to teaching. This is just some kids at the seashore. So I thought I would share those with you. I'll come back to this one. Here is one of the magazines that I got from a lady who watches me from Canada, and she sent this magazine, she sent me two, clear from Canada. And I opened it up, and what did I find? School days. School days. And look, here's a bus here with the kids. This has to be 1950s. And I'll bet that school bus was yellow. This bus looks very much like the bus that we took when I was in grade school. Very much like that. I just look at that and think of our old school bus. Here, I never went to a country school. In fact, this is the school that I went to. Now it's closed now. And it used to have windows on both sides here, and it used to have pine trees and a drinking fountain out in front, and there used to be a tree. There used to be a tree up in here and a tree there, had a merry-go-round and a tether bar and a swing set. And I can remember, see these two windows up here? This is when you went to high school up on second floor. And this was the science room over on this side. This was the music and English and typing class. They taught different subjects in different rooms. And then behind, you'd go up the stairs here. You'd go in that door. You'd go up a set of steps, and you would turn, and you'd go up a long set of steps to go upstairs. And right in the center, right above that door, is another big window. And I can't tell you, can you just picture little girl Mary standing at that window and looking out? I can't tell, on the second floor there. I used to stand at those windows and look out. Over on this side was the primary room, and over on this side on the ground floor was, well, no, this was the primary room and this was the elementary room. And then high school, elementary went to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and then high school was 6th. Junior high was in a room. There was another room. Here was the English or the science room. Well, there's another room behind there toward the back of the building, and that would have been junior high. And then high school were these 3 rooms, and there was a big old study hall back there. So this was just a small school, but I went there from my a half a year of kindergarten. The other half of year kindergarten, I attended in Muleshoe, Texas, of all places. But this was a school that I went to from half year kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth grades in that little building. And then my sophomore through, the state of Nebraska closed all these small schools, closed them, said they can't, they have to consolidate. The school was too small, which was a big mistake. Big mistake that, well, in a way it was a mistake. In another way, we didn't get, like I didn't get French classes and we had a small band. They had sports, that's for sure. Out over here and behind, there was a great big baseball field and a track field out behind. Sports was really big. But my young brother, who was a year behind me, all four of us kids, there were four of us, and we all four went to that school. So getting back to this, I never went to a country school like that, but there's a country school. A lot of you may have. However, when I look at this, I remember pictures of George Washington up on the wall in my schoolroom. The windows that we had were a little different, but I remember having a big old map and a piano, like what's in this picture. I don't remember this type of clock, but we certainly had a flag. And I don't remember this, kids being that tired in my school or bored. But we did have these kind of desks until I got probably to my 8th grade. We got newer desks. And yeah, there was an old bell. We had the bell. That's an older school bus. Our school bus was newer than that. This kind of reminding you about, now, like I said, sports was a big thing in our school. The coach also generally taught history, maybe was a principal. My dad was a school teacher. My father was a school teacher. He taught history and English, and he was a principal in small schools. Come to think of it, my dad taught school. Here's a band. I played the clarinet and band. I wasn't not much for I was more of a loner. I couldn't keep in step. I couldn't march in step with everybody else. I can remember the music teacher kept me after band one day, and he had me marching up and down the room with him to teach me how to march. I don't think it helped. I'm still out of step. And in this, looking at this picture here where the kids are running out of school, what I thought of this morning when I looked at it was school's out, school's out. Teacher let the fools out, reading and writing and arithmetic, taught to the tune of the hickory stick. Those are school memories. Now, kids today have different memories, for good or for bad. Some of them are probably good. Well, most of them are probably good. Let's just dwell on the positive. My little grandniece, they just built a new school for her the school that she went to. She's going into a brand new building. And she took advanced reading classes. Her mother would take her to school early to take advanced reading. And I don't know if she's kept up with that, but I remember her doing that. So what am I going to do art-wise? Well, let's look at chat. Let me look at chat here and talk to some of you first. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Jill. Jill says, I'd be playing Dungeons and Dragons and hopefully Magic the Gathering with my friends. But other than that, my time is my own, plus meals and hygiene, of course. Jill said, I painted this ceramic pumpkin yesterday. Janet says, oh, Jill, my son plays Dungeons and Dragons. Let's see. Janet Nash is here, says, Jill, are you going to be enjoying your color book today? Arlene is here. Hi, Susanna Gonzalez. Welcome, welcome. She says, good morning from Venezuela. Good morning, Venezuela. Good morning, Susanna, if you're still out there. Glad to have you join us. Good morning, all the way from Venezuela. It just amazes me. It amazes me that we can talk to people all over the world at 4:30 in the morning. That totally amazes me. And how the internet has probably changed education. Don't you think? Oh, yeah, I think the internet has had a big impact, and especially during the COVID, when kids could not get to school and they learned online. That would be an experience. I think I would have done good with online learning because I was more of a solitary person in my younger years. I think I would have enjoyed, it would be like going to a library without going out of the house. I think I would have enjoyed it. But who knows? I might have been just as lost. I can't go back and change those years. Arlene says, I wanted to be a teacher, but 2 years into college, I changed my major when Tennessee started messing with the methods and the restructuring the tenure system that really hurt the older teachers. I don't know why the state education has to get in there. They think they know better than everybody else. That was the way it was here in Nebraska. I don't want to talk negative. I want to keep this positive, but sometimes, they mean well, but sometimes they get in and they mess up things more than they help. I know it had a big impact on me when they closed that small school. And I guess it for good and for bad. I was going from a small class of 5 to a big class of 28. And that was huge for me. That was huge. And then my graduating class had 28 people in it, I think. And then I went to the University of Nebraska, which at that time had around 40,000 students. And that was huge for me. The text is so true, Sylvia says. There's Mrs. Gigi. She says, the way I see it, your life really is fun, but sometimes a scary roller coaster of teaching about yourself. Yes, that's so true, Gigi. Janet Nash says, Arlene, you are a champion linker. What did Arlene drop the link to Janet Nash's channel? Yeah, Janet Nash will be doing a video hop. You can go in to any one of the videos, but when you see my list, it will start out with Tim. When you actually see, I'll put a link list to in my video description box after I get done here. Sylvia says, Janet, now I only teach with mixed media art journaling, but I do miss teaching with teenagers. Maybe I will try it again someday. Well, teenagers, junior high is a difficult grade to teach because they're just finding themselves. And high school, they probably, the more successful ones have probably found themselves and found what they enjoy and like, but they are thinking about the future. Where am I going to go to school, or am I going to stay at home and work? And am I going to go off to a college, or am I going to go to a local college, or what? I imagine that some of my friends probably. Well, I think most of the people in my class went on to college or community college, or some of them trained to be beauticians. Some of them went to business school. I went to business school, but I went to college first. I went down to the university first, and then I went to business school. Then I took a programming classes, and I wanted to also touch on adults, lifelong learning. Who teaches us? Who teaches us after it's all said and done and you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s? How do you find a good teacher? Well, I can tell who teaches me. I just come online and you guys teach me. But what are the qualities of having somebody in your life who maybe can, well, if you want to learn a new skill, generally, like if I wanted to learn knitting, I could probably go to a small shop that carried yarns, and there would be probably somebody in there who could either refer me to somebody who could teach me how to knit, or we open up a book and start trying to figure it out ourselves, or we go online and there's YouTube and there's all this vast amount of information available to us. If you want to learn something in today's world, you just almost have to Google it. But then you have to sort out what's true and what's not true when you Google something. Just because it's on the internet doesn't mean that it is necessarily true. So you learn sometimes, you go through the, what do they call that? The College of Hard Knocks. So what am I going to do here? Well, I don't have much time to do a lot of art, but let me just open up to a blank page here, and I guess I'll do something here, and I'm just going to do maybe a fast sketch off of one of these photos. Let me find something that inspires me. Oh, this one kind of inspires me, how the kids are all grouped around. And, I was going to do the little gnome, and I probably will. If you watched my stream last night, you will have seen that I'm illustrating for Inktober our little Ruby Rose gnome. And this is what I did last night in Inktober. But who teaches a gnome? Well, I was looking in this book about how gnomes, I don't think gnomes went to school, because I was learning in here that gnomes are taught at home. Gnomes are homeschooled, according to this book. Let me find it here. I should be able to find it just by looking at the picture. There's glass blowing, home industry. This is what they do for fun. Breakfast. Where is it talking about the kids? The tree house. Knowledge. Let's see. Here. The father gnome teaches the son here. And, this is a gnome boy at the age of 81. Gnomes live to be hundreds of years old. When he's 75 years old, the son is introduced by his father to the members of the regional council, of whom he already knows. Where am I? As soon as his son or sons turn 13, the gnome father takes him outside to teach him the many things every gnome should know. knowledge of mushrooms and herbs, how to distinguish between edible and poisonous plants, and friendly or dangerous animals. And then on the next page, it talks about a little girl gnome. Girls are instructed by their mothers and neighbor women in the homely arts. And this is a good picture of a lady teaching this little gnome girl how to knit. Little mouse pet there is playing with the ball. I got the biggest kick out of Anne saying, because I asked one of my mind map questions when I mind map our little girl gnome was, who is their pet? And we said that she had a pet mouse, and I thought, uh-oh, Bandit might. Anne said she better not take the pet mouse with her because Bandit might eat him. So, I was going to sketch that, but I think I'll do a real quick, fast sketch, and I should maybe even do this in my Society of Idea Collector, but I'm going to do it on here. And I have maybe 15 minutes to do this sketch, and I'm looking for my Sharpie pen. And we're just going to I'm going to sketch all of these kids. I love how they're looking up at their teacher. I love that about this picture. And it looks here like she's holding something weird up here. Maybe she's talking about a beehive or a wasp hive. I'm not sure. It almost looks like it might be a piñata, but I think a piñata would be prettier. She might be teaching them about bees. I pulled this out of a book, so it probably said, but all right. So I'm just going to kind of sketch this real fast. I love all these kids, so I'm just going to really fast here start putting these kids in here. And here they are. Here's my, I should probably zoom in just a tiny bit so that you can see it a little bit better as I'm sketching. Let me tip it a little. You can see most of the book, but let me zoom in just a little. Hi, Anastasia. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you join us. Anastasia says, hi, Kimberly. I went to about 2 weeks ago because one of my medicines was making me so jerky. I did blood work waiting for it to come back. What was Kimberly talking about? Anastasia's here. She says, YouTube videos require vetting and testing. Yes, they do. You can learn a lot from YouTube, but whenever, just even like when you're knitting or learning a new skill, even when you're drawing or something like that, I don't teach on my YouTube. I don't intend to teach because I would probably have to structure my videos a whole different way, and I'd have to plan them out more, and I would probably charge. I would probably charge you if, I'd probably have a membership. Because teaching is a skill. Teaching, and I'd rather share. Didi is a sharer, but she teaches a lot. Didi, if you want to learn about drawing and using colored pencils, using pan pastels, Didi Willingham is your person to go to. Also, Kathy Arbour. Kathy Arbour is good at teaching art. She'll teach all sorts of art. I just like to come online and draw and sketch, and sometimes I'm in perspective and sometimes I'm not. It's really drawing. Drawing is my relaxation. Sometimes, and when I don't know what to do for my streams, I go, oh, what am I going to do? I can always get out my pen and pencil and draw. And this little girl has a little ponytail back here. It's cute. She's got a little, her hair is pulled back in swept up and back in a little ponytail. But yeah, I just like to get online and draw. When I don't know what to do, I can always, and I always liked drawing. Drawing was always something, and not everything turns out. You know, I'm not saying I'm the best, as there are a lot of really talented artists out there. And let's see, her dress, she's kind of leaning this way, and her dress kind of comes like that. Looks like she's kind of reaching back with her arm. I'm not sure what she's probably just trying to balance herself. And this other arm comes out this way, comes clear down the little girl's skirt. She's leaning into the other little girl here. So they're sitting here. I've got to watch my time. They're sitting here listening to their teacher. And to me, that's, you know, a teacher can teach, but if you're not listening, and this is even applies to adults, a teacher can teach, but if you're not listening and not asking questions when you don't understand something, or if you just want to know more, you have a responsibility in this process too, of learning. And these kids are all very attentive here. Now there's another one, another little one here, and she's got a little suspender on her, like a little jumper thing. It's a little girl. Looks like she's got a little skirt on, and it kind of comes like this. So I did not have, this looks like, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least 12 or 15 kids right up front here. That would have almost been my first, second, and third grade in our school when I was that age. So, and that may have had a little bit to do with how quiet I was when I was younger. Let's see, now her head is kind of tilted back. She's kind of looking up at this teacher. So her head's kind of tilted back, maybe not that much. And like that. And she's got a little skirt on. You can kind of see her arm here. We'll just kind of put it in there. And she's got sort of a short-sleeved top on with a little cross here, a little skirt coming down. These girls, you can tell this was still probably in the 40s or 50s. All these girls have little skirts on. Now they wear slacks to school. And some of them wear tights. When you're young, it doesn't matter. You know. But it mattered enough for these girls to wear. We could not, even in my grade school years, I could not wear, if I wore slacks to school, I had to have them under a skirt, and you had to, you know, like if you wanted to stay warm in the wintertime, you had to take them off when you got there. You couldn't wear slacks in school. And looks like she's got a shoe. Looks like she's sitting on her toes there. Some of the memories of when I went to school. Okay, and here's a little boy, and he's sitting up here, and you can tell he's a boy because you can see his ears, and his head kind of comes like that, and he's sitting there listening too. And I don't have to draw so much of him. He's just more head and shoulder here, kind of in a silhouette type thing. And then there's another little girl here. I need to kind of work fast here because I want to get this done. And here's her shoulder. And she is up here, and she is also looking up at the teacher. So here's her hair, and she's got some bangs, and her head is kind of, she's kind of looking up at the teacher there. And you can just see a little bit of her, and her arm kind of comes down this way, and you can kind of see her skirt in there. And her arm gets hidden underneath of this other head here. And then there's another little one in here. She looks like she might be younger. She's got kind of, or it might be, no, it's a little girl. A lot of little girls in this class. Or right at the front there. I only see one little boy right there. Oops, her head's getting too big here. Let's put it here, here. And see, when I made my hair too big, I've got mistakes out in there, but I don't care. I'll just work it into maybe like a shirt over on the other one. And the head comes out this way. Her hair kind of poofs up and down and like that. And she's sitting back. She's leaning in. This one's a little hard for me. I kind of goofed on that. And then her skirt kind of comes out this way. And I lose what's going on. Oh, it looks like her little foot is there. There's a little purse or foot or something in there. But her skirt kind of comes out this way. I've kind of lost it on this one. I don't know if I can get that back in there. Her head kind of leans in. Her shoulder kind of comes like that. And let's see, there's another little one right in here. And she also is looking up at the teacher. And it looks like she's got a braid. I'm not sure what's going on with her. She's got a braid coming down this way. Kind of like that. And she's looking up at the teacher. And her hair kind of comes, I can't tell if that's a braid. Yeah, it looks like it might be. I'm not sure what kind of a hairstyle this little one has on, but she's seated in here, and I'm just going to leave it like, put a little collar on her like that. And we've got a little boy over here. I only see a couple little boys. The little boys are off on this side of the room. There's a little boy here who's looking on, and we're going to give him a little ear here, a little head, maybe a little sideburn, and we'll just kind of give him a little head like this. And we don't see much of him. He's just kind of hidden in there. And then this little boy over here is standing up. So if I can get him in there real fast. What time is it? It's 5:09. See if I can't finish just doing the line drawing. Of kids in a class learning from their teacher. Teachers, and I want to focus on good teachers, not the ones who fail us. Some teachers well, you know, there are teachers out there who don't teach so well. But we aren't going to talk about those. We're going to talk about who was a good teacher in your life. Who was the teachers that you remember, and why do you think you remember them? I'll bet you that you remember them. Most of you probably remember your teachers because they took an interest in you. They took an interest in you, and they either helped you through an issue in your life, or they inspired you to study a subject where you eventually wound up in the career that you're in. So teachers play a big influence, especially in the younger kids, maybe even in older kids too, when you get to high school and, you know, you're trying to figure out where you're going to go to school, and you know, figure things out that way. Now, see, I'm just going to put this little boy's head right there. All right, let's do the teacher. Let's get her in there. Now, of course, she's taller, and I can't make her too tall because I'll run off the paper. But let's put her in here. She's here. She's got short hair and an ear, and let's just give her, I'm going to make her hair a little longer here. Because, and then her head is bent down looking at the kids. She's bending down. She's got a collar on here, on her neck, and her shoulder is coming down, and she looks like she's holding, she's not holding anything. On her other hand is holding something. So let's bring her dress this way, bring it down. Here's her sleeve this way, and this hand is coming up, and it's holding a baton of some sort. She might be teaching them about music. I don't know what she's instructing the kids in something. I can't figure out what this shape is. It might be a beehive or a pinata. It almost looks like it might be a pinata. I'm just not quite sure what that is, but she's holding a baton. And we're just going to, it's certainly not it's not a punishment thing. I'm not sure. It's more of a pointing stick to point at something on the way she's instructing them. It's not a discipline. It's not a spanking stick. And then her hand comes down this way, and her dress comes this way. I'm getting that messed up. And then her dress comes down. She's got a long dress, a pretty long dress on, and comes down that way, like that, and here are her feet. And we can probably even work in some shoes here if I kind of hits the child there. Now let's put this little boy has his hand on a chair. Let's put the chair in there fast, a little chair. She must be saying something about this chair, or maybe he was sitting in that chair. I'm not sure what the significance of this empty chair is here, but there's an empty chair here. A little chair kind of comes out. Something like, I'm doing a fast sketch now because I want to get done. There's a chair here. Maybe there's a blackboard off over here. We'll put that in real fast. A blackboard. And there's the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it looks like there's some hearts on that blackboard. If I can look. Yeah, it's hearts and birds. Little birds flying here. Little birds flying in on this blackboard. I don't know. Maybe they were having a nature lesson or just drawing birds. There's a little table off over this way with looks like a record player, maybe. Maybe they did music. I'm not sure. It looks like a little desk table with that on there. And then there's the piano back in here. So this might have been, I'll bet you that teacher sat at this piano, and I'm just kind of fast sketching that in. So there's my sketch. I don't know. Let's see what you can see if I zoom out. Oh, you're not seeing it all. There we go. So that was really fun to do, and it's fun to think about teachers. And I cannot wait to see what everybody else does for teaching. Here's again the school I went to when most of my kindergarten through freshman year at that little brick school, small town school. We were the Red Devils. We were the Red Devils. So it is 5:16. I want to welcome everybody in. I want to wish you to have a very good hop. They'll be coming, the videos will come live in about 15 minutes. Hi, Mary Berry. Oh, she went off to get coffee. Brenda D. Hi, Brenda. Oh, there's Dee Dee Willingham. Hi, Dee Dee. Oh, Arlene. Dee Dee saying goodbye to Arlene. Dee Dee Willingham is a really good, she says she doesn't teach, but I'll bet you if you would take a survey of people who attend Dee Dee's streams every week, most of them will be able to tell you what they have learned from Dee Dee. Well, and you know, my number one thing that I've learned from Dee Dee is to collect ideas. Society of Idea Collector, I'm in it. You know, I'm all about collecting those ideas. I had never collected ideas or did mind mapping or made lists or asked questions in the same way until I listened to Dee Dee Willingham. Dee Dee, you are a true teacher. She teaches color. She teaches as she shares. Dee Dee is an excellent art teacher without saying, I'm a teacher. I'm going to teach you this. But she explains what she's doing as she does it. And collage, Dee Dee does wonderful collage. Yep. Yeah. We love our Dee Dee. Welcome, Dee Dee. Thanks for looking in. Janet, I hope you will do more in the field outdoor videos, weather permitting. Dee Dee really likes, Janet Nash loves to take Freddie out for walks. I like to watch Freddie jump in the river after a ball. Janet will throw the river and that old dog will run and splash in that water. Just as free as can be. Not a worry in the world for Freddie. Okay, you guys, I'm going to let you go. Have a great hop. Have a great weekend. And I will be on again tomorrow evening, Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. Tanya is moving her mother, so she will not be streaming on Sunday afternoon, but she'll be back. Tanya's a great teacher too, by the way. So have a great hop, everybody. The videos will be coming live at 5:30. And I'm going to sign off so I can run and put everything in my description box. So bye. Have a great day, everybody.